I never imagined my carefully constructed world would collapse over a Tuesday dinner. The aroma of garlic herb chicken filled our Denver townhouse as I set the table with methodical precision, a habit from my 22 years as an architect, where every detail mattered. Each plate aligned perfectly, each fork placed exactly 1 inch from the edge. Control had always been my sanctuary. "Lucas, can I finish my chemistry homework at the table?" My daughter Emma called from the study, her voice carrying that teenage lilt that still reminded me of the little girl who used to ask permission to color at this same table. "Clear it before we eat," I replied, checking the oven temperature one final time. The thermometer read exactly 375 degrees, perfect. Through the window, autumn leaves danced in the fading light, painting the Denver skyline in shades of amber and gold. Tuesday dinners had been sacred in our household for 17 years. No devices, no distractions, just family conversation. It was the one tradition I'd insisted on maintaining, even as Emma grew older and Kelly's career consumed more of her time. Kelly usually arrived home by 6. The kitchen clock showed 6:23. No text, no call. I pulled out my phone, checking for messages I might have missed. Nothing. I brushed aside the unease creeping through my chest, that tight feeling that had been appearing more frequently over the past few months. Lately she'd been different. The small things that might have seemed insignificant individually had started forming a pattern I couldn't ignore. Distant smiles that didn't quite reach her eyes, secretive phone checking during our evening talks, new perfume I hadn't bought her, something expensive and unfamiliar that replaced the vanilla scent she'd worn for years. The garage door rumbled, breaking my thoughts. Kelly entered wearing the emerald dress I'd always admired, the one that brought out the green flecks in her hazel eyes. But something was off. Her makeup looked freshly applied, unusual after 9 hours at her marketing firm. Her lipstick was perfect, her mascara unsmudged, as if she'd just stepped out of a salon rather than a downtown office building. "Traffic nightmare," she said, not meeting my eyes as she set down her designer handbag, another recent purchase I'd noticed. "You know how I-25 gets during rush hour." "Mom!" Emma bounded in with the enthusiasm that had somehow survived her teenage years. "Help me pick an outfit for Rachel's party this weekend. I was thinking that new top we saw at Park Meadows Mall. Let me change first, sweetheart. Give me 15 minutes. But Kelly descended 20 minutes later in an elegant navy cocktail dress, hair styled in loose waves, full makeup reapplied with obvious care. For a Tuesday. At home. For a simple family dinner. The dress was one she typically reserved for our anniversary dinners or office galas. "Kelly?" I set down my knife, the blade catching the overhead light. "What's going on?" Her fingers twisted her wedding band, her tell since the day we married 22 years ago in that small chapel overlooking the Rockies. "Can we talk during dinner?" Family discussion. Those words triggered alarm bells in my mind, loud and insistent. Nothing good ever followed family discussion. The last time she'd used that phrase was when her father died, and before that, when she'd been diagnosed with the health scare that turned out to be benign. This felt different, heavier, more ominous. We sat down at our oak dining table, the one we'd picked out together when we first bought this house. Emma chattered about her physics project, something about velocity and acceleration that normally would have engaged my engineering mind. I tried to focus, tried to ignore Kelly's nervous energy radiating across the table like heat waves off summer asphalt. She kept rearranging her silverware, took 3 sips of water in less than a minute, and barely touched the chicken I'd spent 2 hours preparing. "I've been thinking," Kelly interrupted suddenly, her voice too loud in the intimate space. "About us. About our relationship. About opening our marriage." Time stopped. The words hung in the air like smoke from a gun. Emma's fork clattered against her plate, the sound unnaturally sharp in the sudden silence. The refrigerator's hum became deafening. I could hear my own heartbeat pounding in my ears. "What?" The word barely escaped my throat, strangled and small. "I need something more," Kelly rushed on, words tumbling out like she'd rehearsed this speech. Her hands trembled slightly as she reached for her water glass. "Not ending things, just exploring. I feel like I've lost myself somewhere along the way. It might actually strengthen what we have. Some couples find that opening up their relationship brings them closer together." "Strengthen?" I pushed back from the table, my chair scraping harshly against the hardwood floor we'd refinished together 5 years ago. "How does infidelity strengthen anything? How does sleeping with other people bring us closer?" "It's not just about sex," Kelly insisted, her voice rising defensively. It's about rediscovering myself. I feel invisible, Lucas. Like I disappeared into being just your wife, just Emma's mother. I wake up and don't recognize the woman in the mirror anymore. I need to feel alive again, to feel desired, to feel like I'm more than just a role I'm playing. Just rage and pain tangled in my chest, making it hard to breathe. My hands clenched into fists under the table. 22 years of marriage is just something to you. 17 years of raising our daughter together is just a role you've been playing. Maybe I should leave, Emma whispered, starting to stand. Her face had gone pale, her chemistry homework forgotten on the chair beside her. No, stay. Kelly grabbed Emma's wrist with surprising intensity. You're 16. Old enough to understand that relationships are complicated. That sometimes adults need to make adjustments to stay happy. This doesn't mean I don't love your father or that our family is falling apart. It means I'm being honest about my needs. Don't involve her in this, I warned, my voice dropping to a dangerous quiet. This isn't something she needs to be part of. This is between us. She's not a child anymore, Kelly argued, her grip on Emma's arm tightening. And this affects her too. I'm not talking about ending our marriage, Lucas. I'm talking about evolving it, about growing as individuals while staying committed to our family unit. There's someone, Kelly admitted, the words falling like stones into still water. Brandon. We met at the Riverside Foundation Gala last month. Nothing's happened. I swear nothing physical has happened. But the connection I felt, it's something I haven't experienced in years. He listens to me, really listens. He sees me as more than just someone's wife or mother. The Riverside Foundation Gala. The memory hit me like a physical blow to the chest. I'd missed it because of a crucial client presentation, the Henderson Tower project that could make or break my partnership prospects at Morrison & Associates. I'd felt guilty about letting Kelly go alone, had even brought home her favorite orchids the next day to make up for my absence. Now I wondered if those flowers had sat in their vase while my wife flirted with another man, planning this moment. You've been planning this, I said, the realization spreading through me like ice water in my veins. All those late nights at the office, the new clothes, the expensive perfume, the way you started going to the gym 5 times a week. You've been preparing for this. We've only talked, Kelly protested, but her eyes flickered away from mine. That's why I'm asking permission instead of going behind your back. I'm trying to be honest with you, Lucas. Doesn't that count for something? Instead of what? Cheating behind my back. I stood so fast my chair toppled backward, crashing against the floor with a sound that made both Kelly and Emma jump. You want applause for your honesty? A medal for telling me you want to destroy our marriage before actually doing it? Dad, maybe if you just listen, Emma started, her voice small and uncertain. I stared at my daughter, really looked at her. She'd positioned herself beside Kelly, unconsciously creating a united front. Against me. Her body language was clear, shoulders angled toward her mother, hand reaching out to touch Kelly's arm in support. You're taking her side? The betrayal hit me fresh, sharp as a knife between the ribs. I'm not taking sides, Emma protested, but she moved even closer to Kelly. I just want everyone to be happy. Mom's been crying at night. I've heard her. She's been unhappy for so long, and she's trying to find a way to fix it. Fix it? I felt something break inside me, something fundamental and irreparable. By sleeping with another man? That's how we fix things now. The betrayal cut deeper than Kelly's words. My daughter, my little girl who used to run to me with every scraped knee, every school triumph, every nightmare that needed chasing away, now stood with the woman destroying our family. When had that shifted? When had I become the enemy in my own home? Fine, I heard myself say, each word precisely measured and cold. One date with Brandon. See if it fills whatever void you think exists in our marriage. See if this stranger gives you whatever you think I've failed to provide. Kelly's face showed surprise, maybe even relief. She'd expected a fight. But understand this moment, right here, right now, this is when you killed our marriage. Not when you sleep with him. Not when you come home smelling like his cologne. This moment. And you made our daughter your accomplice in its death. Dad, don't say that, Emma pleaded, tears spilling down her cheeks. You've made your choice too, Emma. Remember that. I walked out. Behind me, Emma sobbed and Kelly tried to comfort her, murmuring meaningless platitudes. I felt nothing but a spreading numbness, like frostbite claiming territory. In my study, I removed the family photo from my desk, last summer's Colorado hiking trip to Maroon Bells, all sunshine and smiles and false happiness, and dropped it in the bottom drawer. The thud echoed like a coffin lid closing, final and absolute. Over the following days, I watched them conspire with a detachment that surprised even me. Whispered conversations ending abruptly when I entered rooms. Text messages Emma helped compose, the two of them huddled over Kelly's phone at the kitchen island. My daughter playing lookout while Kelly called Brandon from the garden, her laugh carrying through the open window, a sound I hadn't heard directed at me in months. Each betrayal I catalogued, filed away in the growing ice where my heart used to be. Thursday morning, I saw Emma helping Kelly pick out lingerie at the mall. I'd stopped by to grab lunch and spotted them through the Victoria's Secret window, holding up lace and silk, giggling like schoolgirls. They didn't see me. I left without the lunch. Thursday evening, I caught snippets of their conversation. While preparing dinner, neither of them would eat with me. The blue dress or the black one? Kelly's voice from upstairs. Definitely the black. More sophisticated, Emma advised. And where those pearl earrings Dad got you? My anniversary gift, worn for another man. The irony was exquisite. Kelly announced Friday as her date night over breakfast Wednesday morning. I nodded, said nothing, continued reading the newspaper I'd already memorized. Their nervous glances told me they'd expected rage, tears, pleading, anything but this cold silence that had settled over me like armor. Lucas? Kelly ventured. Are you okay with this? You're going regardless of my answer, I replied without looking up. Why does my opinion matter now? While they chatted excitedly upstairs Thursday night about outfits and makeup strategies, I worked in my study. Bank transfers, moving funds from our joint accounts to new ones only in my name. Asset divisions, cataloging everything we owned, determining what was mine, what was hers, what could be liquidated. Lawyer consultations. I'd already met with 3 different attorneys, choosing the most ruthless one. Everything legal, everything final, everything calculated to cause maximum damage while remaining completely within the law. Emma texted me Thursday night. Mom's really excited about tomorrow. This could be good for everyone. Sometimes people need to explore to realize what they already have. I deleted it. Then I deleted every photo of Emma from my phone. 17 years of memories, from her birth at Presbyterian Hospital to her 16th birthday last month. Every text thread we'd shared, every silly meme she'd sent me, every I love you dad, that now felt like a lie. Every trace of the daughter who chose betrayal over loyalty. My phone felt lighter afterward. So did my chest. Friday evening arrived with deceptive normalcy. I left work early, drove home through Denver's rush hour traffic, listening to the classical station Kelly always complained was too boring. The house smelled of expensive perfume when I entered. She'd been preparing for hours. Kelly descended the stairs at 6:30 in a black designer dress I'd never seen before, fitted and elegant, showing just enough to be alluring without being obvious. My anniversary pearls circled her throat, the necklace I'd given her for our 15th, calling them timeless like us. Her hair was professionally styled in an updo that must have cost $200. She looked stunning. For another man. I'm leaving, she said at my study door, her voice uncertain. She wanted something from me, permission, absolution, maybe even a last-minute plea for her to stay. I gave her nothing. Just stared at my computer screen, fingers motionless on the keyboard. I'll be home by 11. Then we can talk. Really talk about us, about our future, about how this might actually help us reconnect. The front door closed. Her car pulled away. I'd heard the garage door, the engine starting, the careful backing out. I watched from the window as her taillights disappeared down our tree-lined street. My favorite dress, my gift, my wife. For another man named Brandon, who collected married women like trophies. Emma knocked softly 10 minutes later. She almost turned back twice. I watched from the upstairs window. She sat in the car for 5 minutes before finally leaving. Please talk to her when she returns. She's scared, Dad. She doesn't want to lose you. I blocked Emma's number without responding and returned to my computer, systematically dismantling our financial life. 22 years of careful saving and investing, reduced to electronic transfers and legal documents. Our joint checking account, drained except for $63.18. Our savings emptied. Investment portfolios, transferred to accounts she couldn't access. Credit cards all canceled. Her name removed from everything. Messages from Kelly started arriving at the restaurant at 7:15. Just got here. They seated us at that corner table where you proposed. Remember? You were so nervous you knocked over the wine. Delete. Brandon seems different tonight. More aggressive. He keeps touching my hand, and it feels wrong. Delete. He just told me about his collection of married women. Like we're trophies. This was a mistake. Delete. The waiter recognized me. Asked where you were. I wanted to cry. What am I doing here? Delete. By 10 o'clock, the messages grew desperate. Please answer. Brandon's awful. He spent dinner bragging about the other wives he's been with. Made crude jokes about their husbands. I feel sick. I'm leaving. I can't do this. Coming home early. I made a horrible mistake. Please be there when I get home. Please. Delete. 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 At 10:47, headlights swept the driveway. Kelly's heels clicked slowly up the stairs. Not the confident stride of a woman who'd found herself, but the hesitant steps of someone who'd lost everything. Lucas? Can we talk? Tonight was terrible. Brandon's not who I thought. He treated me like a conquest. Kept bragging about his collection of married women, showing me photos on his phone of the others. He rated them. I was going to be number 15. Silence. I continued typing, filing away the last of the financial documents. I was so stupid. I don't know what I was thinking. He's nothing compared to you. Please. I'll do anything to fix this. Anything. Go to bed, Kelly. We'll talk tomorrow. I heard her breath hitch, a sob she tried to suppress. Her footsteps retreated slowly, heavy with defeat. The bedroom door closed. The shower started. She was washing away Brandon's touch, his cologne, her mistake. Too late. Everything was too late. I waited until the house went quiet, until I heard Kelly's breathing even out into sleep. After 22 years, I knew the sound. Then I carried my pre-packed suitcases to the car, 3 trips, moving silently through the darkness I'd prepared for. Each suitcase represented a different aspect of my life. Clothes and personal items, important documents and electronics, financial records and legal papers. Emma's bedroom light clicked on during my second trip. She appeared at her window as I loaded the last bag, her face pale in the moonlight. Our eyes met briefly across the darkness. I drove away without looking back, watching our house, 17 years of mortgage payments, countless weekends spent on renovations, every holiday and birthday celebrated within those walls, disappear in my rearview mirror. The life I'd built gone. The family I'd loved abandoned. But they'd done it first. I was just making it official. Saturday morning, Kelly found my study empty. Bare walls where my architectural degree had hung, cleared desk where family photos once stood, empty shelves where my book collection had lived. Only an envelope remained, centered precisely on the polished wood surface. Inside, divorce papers and a single note written on my professional letterhead. The accounts are empty. Credit cards canceled. Investments transferred. Everything I've done is legal, my lawyer will confirm. Contesting it will only cost you money you no longer have. Monday, my attorney will contact you with next steps. You wanted freedom. Now you have it. Don't contact me again. This number, my email, my office, all blocked. To me, you and Emma no longer exist. Their joint checking held $63.18. Savings 0. Investment accounts, access denied. Credit cards, all declined. The college fund Emma had been counting on, transferred to an account with only my name. Kelly called my numbers, all disconnected. My work email bounced back with an automated response. I'd erased myself from their lives as thoroughly as they'd erased my trust, my love, my place in the family I'd built. Monday arrived with brutal efficiency. My lawyer, Richard Morrison, no relation to my architectural firm but equally ruthless, called Kelly at exactly 9 a.m. Mrs. Patterson, this is Richard Morrison from Morrison Legal Associates. I'm handling your husband's divorce filing. Through the phone, I could hear her sharp intake of breath. I was listening from Morrison's office, watching his face remain professionally neutral. There must be some mistake. If I could just talk to Lucas. Mr. Patterson has made it clear all communication goes through our office. The preliminary hearing is scheduled for next week. Given the circumstances, we're seeking an expedited process. What circumstances? Your admitted intention to engage in extramarital affairs, Mrs. Patterson. Your daughter's willingness to facilitate these encounters. We have detailed documentation, text messages, witness statements, even photos from the mall shopping trip where she helped you purchase intimate apparel. Kelly's sob carried clearly through the speaker. Those were on a family plan he paid for, which makes them perfectly legal to access. I should warn you that Mr. Patterson has already secured the majority of your marital assets. Given your actions and our documentation, contesting would be inadvisable and expensive. By Monday afternoon, Kelly lost her marketing job. Her supervisor at Pinnacle Marketing called her in for a meeting, explained apologetically about the morality clause in her contract. The divorce filing was public record. Kelly's affair, or attempted affair, was now part of the court documents anyone could access. "I've worked here for 15 years, Kelly protested, her voice breaking, "and we've appreciated your service. But given the circumstances and our corporate values, we have a reputation to maintain. 2 weeks severance is the best we can offer." She left with a cardboard box of personal items and a check that wouldn't even cover 1 month's mortgage payment. Weeks blurred into a nightmare of mounting bills and declining resources. Kelly tried reaching Brandon repeatedly, blocked numbers, bounced emails, no response to the handwritten letter she sent to his office. He'd vanished as completely as I had, his interest evaporating the moment she'd fled his groping hands and crude suggestions at the restaurant. Emma grew distant, the teenager who'd conspired with her mother, now barely speaking. The weight of what they'd done, what they'd destroyed, settled over the house like fog. "I got into Boulder State," Emma announced one morning over the cereal that was becoming their primary food source. "Aunt Patricia offered me her spare room in Portland. I'm moving to Oregon. But that's across the country. Better than staying here," Emma said coldly. "Watching you check your phone every 5 minutes hoping Brandon will call. Watching the eviction notices pile up. Watching us lose everything because you needed to feel desired. Emma, please. I helped you do this." Emma's voice cracked, 17 years of trust shattering in her eyes. "I helped you pick out that dress. I covered for your phone calls. I helped destroy Dad's life because you convinced me it was about being honest, about finding yourself." "Honey, don't." Emma stood up, her chair scraping back. "Aunt Patricia's right. I need to get away from here. From you. From what we did." At the Greyhound station 3 days later, Kelly made one last plea. "We can figure this out together. I'll get another job. You can go to Metro State instead, stay closer to home. Together?" Emma's laugh was bitter, so unlike the girl who used to giggle with Kelly over rom-coms and ice cream. "Like we figured out which dress would impress Brandon? How to plan the perfect betrayal." She picked up her bags. Everything she owned now fit in 2 duffel bags and a backpack. "Dad was right about everything. About you. About me. About what we did to him. He doesn't hate you. He's your father. Not anymore. I tried to reach him, Mom. Did I tell you that? I went to his office building last week." Kelly's eyes widened. "What happened?" "Security stopped me in the lobby. Said I'm on the restricted list. No access permitted. When I asked them to just tell him I was there, they said he'd left explicit instructions. No contact with Emma Patterson or Kelly Patterson. We're banned from the building." Emma's voice broke. "I wrote him a letter. Poured my heart out, apologized for everything. It came back unopened. Stamped, returned to sender. Oh honey, I deserved it. We both did." Emma turned toward the bus boarding for Portland. "Maybe someday he'll forgive us. But I wouldn't. I wouldn't forgive me either." Kelly watched the bus pull away, carrying her daughter into a future that didn't include her. Another piece of her world gone. The eviction notice arrived 3 months later, certified mail requiring her signature. Kelly stood in the increasingly empty house. She'd sold the furniture piece by piece to cover utilities and food, and signed for the death certificate of her old life. Final notice, 30 days to vacate. She'd tried everything. Begged the bank for a loan modification, denied due to unemployment. Applied for dozens of jobs. Her reputation preceded her, the scandal having spread through Denver's tight professional community. Reached out to friends. Most had stopped returning calls after the divorce details became public. Her phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Heard Lucas bought a penthouse downtown in the Glass Tower building. Dating some executive from his firm, Amanda something. Thought you should know. The Glass Tower. She'd driven past it countless times, always looking up at the luxury condos, wondering if he was there. She'd sent emails, all bounced back. Letters to his office, returned unopened. Messages through mutual friends. He'd apparently told everyone he didn't have a wife or daughter, that those chapters of his life were closed forever. Rachel, Emma's best friend Rachel, had seen him at a charity gala 2 weeks ago. He looked happy, Rachel reported reluctantly when Kelly cornered her at the grocery store. Like really happy. He was with this beautiful woman, laughing, dancing. Someone mentioned Emma's name, and he just walked away. Like he didn't even know who that was. Kelly's friend Jennifer, one of the few who still spoke to her, confirmed it over coffee Kelly couldn't afford. He won't acknowledge you existed. I tried bringing up your name at a Morrison and Associates event. He's a partner now, did you know? He just looked through me like I was invisible. It's like you and Emma died, and he's moved on completely. The realtor's message came through that afternoon. Movers scheduled for 9 a.m. tomorrow. All personal items must be cleared by then. Kelly walked through the empty house one last time. 22 years of marriage had left ghost images on the walls, lighter patches where family photos hung, nail holes from Emma's growth chart, the pencil marks we'd made measuring her height each birthday. In Emma's room, a few forgotten posters remained, boy bands from her middle school years that she'd outgrown. Kelly stood in the doorway, remembering bedtime stories and goodnight kisses, homework help and teenage drama, all the moments that now felt like they'd happened to someone else. The master bedroom was completely bare. Her designer clothes and shoes, all sold on Facebook Marketplace for pennies on the dollar. The king bed we'd shared gone. Even the curtains had been taken down, leaving the windows naked to the street. Her phone rang. Patricia's number. Kelly? Just wanted to let you know Emma's settling in well. She got that job at the mall, clothing store in the juniors section. Starts training Monday. Can I talk to her? A long pause. She's not ready yet, Kelly. She needs time to process everything. She's my daughter. And you used her to help destroy her father's trust, Patricia said, her voice harder than Kelly had ever heard it. Emma needs stability right now. She needs to focus on rebuilding her life. She can't do that while watching you self-destruct. I'm not self-destructing. I'm trying to survive. Then survive. Get yourself together. Maybe someday Emma will be ready to talk. But not today. The call ended, leaving Kelly alone in the echoing emptiness. Her phone held one last surprise that evening. An email from Brandon, timestamp showing 2 a.m., probably drunk. Hey babe. Heard things got rough for you. That's why I usually don't mess with married chicks. Too much drama when it all falls apart. But thanks for the fun evening. You were going to be number 15 in my collection. Would have been a good addition. Take care. Kelly deleted the email with shaking fingers, but the words burned in her memory. Number 15. A trophy. A conquest. She'd destroyed her marriage, her family, her entire life for a man who'd rated her like a scorecard. In the growing darkness, she sank down against the bare wall of what used to be her bedroom, surrounded by the wreckage of her choices. The pearl necklace, worthless costume jewelry, it turned out, not real pearls like Lucas had always claimed, hung around her neck, her last reminder of the life she'd destroyed. Tomorrow she'd move into a studio apartment in Denver's roughest neighborhood, all her new salary as a retail clerk at Target could afford. She'd start over at 45, alone, with nothing but regrets and a daughter who wouldn't speak to her. Her phone buzzed with a notification. Against her better judgment, she checked it. Lucas's company newsletter. She was still somehow on the mailing list. The headline read, Morrison and Associates welcomes new partner Lucas Patterson. There was a photo of him at the celebration, champagne glass raised, surrounded by colleagues. Smiling. Genuinely happy. And beside him, a beautiful woman in her 30s, his hand resting casually on her waist. The caption identified her as Amanda Reeves, senior project manager. The body language between them was unmistakable, intimate, comfortable, real. He'd moved on. Completely. Absolutely. Like Kelly and Emma had never existed. Somewhere across Denver, I sat in my new penthouse apartment, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city lights. The glass tower's 32nd floor, 2 bedrooms of modern luxury that cost more per month than the mortgage on my old house. Amanda was in the kitchen, making coffee and humming something I didn't recognize. We'd been dating for 2 months. She was intelligent, successful, uncomplicated. She didn't ask about my past, didn't push for emotional revelations. We enjoyed each other's company without the weight of decades of history. My phone buzzed with an email notification. The company newsletter had just gone out. I knew Kelly would see it. I'd made sure she stayed on the mailing list. I wanted her to see me thriving. I wanted her to see what she'd lost. Coffee's ready, Amanda called out. Still reviewing the Henderson Tower plans? Almost done. I closed my laptop, sealing away the architectural drawings that had consumed my evening. The man who had loved Kelly and Emma was gone, replaced by someone colder, harder, permanently unreachable. I'd chosen this path deliberately, one without forgiveness, without looking back, without the wife who'd wanted to explore other men, and the daughter who'd helped facilitate the betrayal. Let them learn what betrayal costs. Let them understand that some broken things stay broken forever. Let them live with the consequences while I built a new life from the ashes of the old. My phone sat on the coffee table, Kelly's number still blocked, Emma's messages still automatically deleted. They'd tried reaching out 17 times in the first month. I knew because the phone logged the blocked attempts. Then 15 times the second month. Now 3 months later, maybe twice a week. Each blocked call was a small victory. Each deleted voicemail a confirmation of my choice. Amanda brought me coffee, curled up beside me on the leather sofa that cost more than my old living room set. "You seem far away," she observed. "Just thinking about a project," I lied smoothly. The lies came easier now. She accepted it without question, turned on a movie neither of us would watch. Outside, Denver glittered in the darkness, full of possibility and new beginnings. In her empty house across the city, Kelly sat alone clutching worthless pearls, my final words echoing in her memory. "You wanted freedom. Now you have it." And I meant every word. Thank you for watching the video to the end. YouTube may no longer suggest my channel to you, so subscribe to it to receive new interesting stories. You will also help the channel grow and improve the quality of its content. A playlist with other interesting stories that you can listen to is now displayed on the screen. You can also write in the comments what stories you would like to see on the channel.